So I'm one of those people who cannot celebrate Christmas before December 1st. So watching this movie before that date was like, it might be a little bit difficult. But after watching this movie, I can't wait for December 1st to come. Hey everybody, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and on this channel it's my job to point you in the direction of movies worth checking out. So if that interests you, make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's the best way to show your support for the channel. And I just recently partnered with Movie Scene Canada, so you make sure you check them out as well for the latest news, reviews, contests, and trailer reactions. But today I'm here to tell you whether or not Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, is worth a watch. So, we got the holiday season coming up, and you know what? After 2020, I'm very much looking forward to a wonderful Christmas. I think that's much needed for everyone right now. And what's the most important thing that you would like to get from a Christmas movie? Well, you want to get that Christmas spirit. You want to get that Christmas joy, and thankfully, Jingle Jangle has that in spades. The musical score is very majestic, full of spirit. The costumes and the sets, they're very vibrant, full of colors, and like many of the Christmas movies that I watched growing up, such as Elf and Polar Express and the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, this movie definitely has the magic element to it where if you believe in the Christmas spirit and if you believe in what your heart truly desires, then anything is possible, right? Of course, we've seen that in many movies before, like I just mentioned, but you know what? It's a Christmas movie. You need to have that magic, that element of imagination and wonder, and Jingle Jangle has that down pat. And from a progressive standpoint, it really is kind of shameful when I'm talking about all the movies that I grew up to watch during Christmas time, like Elf and Polar Express and all those things. It is kind of nice to see a Christmas movie like this with a predominantly black cast. So this movie has all the ooey gooey Christmas spirit in it, which is great. However, and it really shames me to say this, but I feel like that magic has been spread too thin over many different stories and emotional plot lines. So we have Veronicus Jangle, played by Forest Whitaker. Predominantly Forest Whitaker, he has a younger version in the movie, but I've always been a fan of his work and he's great here. And he's this really wild inventor and he's inventing all these amazing toys, and of course his apprentice steals his toys, along with this little toy Don Juan Diego, voiced by Ricky Martin. And they run off and they become the new toy makers of the world, and of course Veronicus Jangle has basically nothing. But that leaves for this movie to give us quite a few plot lines, and at least in my opinion, maybe too many. So you have Veronicus Jangle versus Gustafson, right? The two toy makers. And I'm just gonna say it right here, I didn't find them threatening at all. When they're not intimidating, and they're not funny, and you don't feel like they're a real big threat to the story, I don't really feel that sense of urgency. Yes, there is a ticking time bomb, right? You gotta get the new invention by Christmas. There's always that. It's always by Christmas Eve, right? But I didn't really feel that sense of urgency in this movie, so I'm like, yeah, of course he's gonna make it. I never doubted that Veronicus Jangle could defeat the villain, so to speak. But then, of course, we have Veronicus Jangle's relationship with his daughter, which isn't really fleshed out in the movie. And then his relationship with Journey, who becomes the main character of the movie. This is Veronicus Jangle's granddaughter. But we don't meet her until 30 minutes into the movie, and she's very underdeveloped. She's different from the other kids, and she has magic. And that's about it. That's all we know about her. And of course, Veronicus Jangle is also developing a new toy, like the Buddy 3000, which reminds me of WALL-E, sure, very similar, but I liked those scenes. I'm like, this is the magic, this is the imagination and the wonder, and especially when it comes to a new toy on Christmas time, and you have the kids discovering him, it's magic. This is the heart of the movie right here, discovery, right? And of course, when Veronicus Jangle makes something new again, it's barely in the movie. How can you make such an amazing creature, have him be so cute, and the look on the kids' faces when it comes to life, it's just, this is where the Christmas spirit comes from. But it's barely in the movie because we gotta make room for all of these different storylines and all of these different emotional beats that feel quite forced. And we have another side character who's in love with Veronicus Jangle, and I'm sorry, I didn't laugh once during that whole plot line. I never really found her character that hilarious to begin with. Add that all together, you have pacing issues. This movie is 2 hours long. Cut some of those plot elements out, really beef up some of the magic and the relationships between some of the characters, and you got yourself a solid movie. But you tried to cram too much in, and now that magic, that Christmas spirit, I feel was spread a bit too thin throughout the entire thing. Which is unfortunate, because I thought that this story had a ton of potential. And when talking about the songs, because this is a musical, they are well produced, right? You can tell that this movie had a budget. The song mastering was not cheap, and it does sound really nice. However, the songs themselves, there's no real earworm quality to them. Like, I can't imagine people watching this movie and then humming the songs for days and days and days. There's no Hakuna Matata in this, right? And unfortunately, to me, the placement of the songs didn't really make sense to me. It didn't feel like the songs were driving the story. It felt like the story was driving the songs. It felt like the songs came first. However, with all my negative criticisms aside, the one thing that this movie does really well is that, of course, it has the Christmas spirit, like I've talked about many times in this video, but it has its heart in the right place, right? Messages about family and empowerment and loss, right? Dealing with the loss of loved ones and then the loss of your passion. This movie definitely deals with those subjects really well, and it fits into the whole Christmas spirit angle. So while this movie, I might not think it's the best movie in the world, especially for Christmas, but its heart is in the right place. So I can't really dog on it too much. So overall, I'm going to give Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey a 2 out of 5. There were parts in this movie I really did enjoy, but I just think it got a little convoluted, it got a little messy, and I think it got a bit too long. But I do have to give this movie props for the Christmas spirit, the messages, and in terms of progression, in terms of society, it is nice to finally see a Christmas movie with a predominantly black cast. So anyways, guys, are you guys excited to watch Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey? I know that after watching this movie, though, I definitely am looking forward to watching many more Christmas movies in the weeks to come. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And if you're new here and you want to see more videos just like this one, then definitely hit like and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.